This is Umar for BoxNation. I'm joined by IBF super featherweight world champion Anto Cacace, one of the very few world champions Britain has at the moment. So we cherish it at the moment, Anto. I know there's quite a lot going on, and we'll discuss that in due course. But yeah, I'd say you're an established world champion now. And so I know things happen very quickly in terms of winning that world title, defending it, having some really good wins on these Riyadh season shows. But now you're an established world champion. Would you say life's changed or not?
Oh, big time, mate, big time. Just I've worked my whole life to get into that position. Just I feel like everything's just paid off, and man, just unreal feeling. Life's completely changed.
Yeah, I bet it has because you've done so many years. I mean, going through those small all fights early on and the pullouts that we've talked about before, especially the one at Wembley Stadium with Fury White. I remember speaking to you in the hotel bar on the Friday night and how gutted you were. If someone said it could be all over for Anto Cacace at that point, after that
Yeah,
disappointment, you wouldn't have bet against that.
yeah, it was devastating, mate. You know, what I mean, I spent near the guts of 3 months in training camp. Things weren't going great in the background as well, so it was just needing that fight and the push on. And that's boxing, though. I'm not. I wasn't surprised. I feel like I'm used to these type of things happen. So it's made me resilient, and listen. I kept on doing what I was doing, and I got to where I got. So I can't complain.
But everything, as I said, within the last year has come together. Obviously, the opportunities that you were given, you had to take because just
Yeah,
because you're given opportunities doesn't mean anything's there for granted. I remember Joe Cordina was the favourite going into that fight with you, of course, and then the run you've been on since then has been sensational. But I guess Riyadh season, the opportunities that your management team and also your promoter Frank Warren have delivered and obviously had the faith from early on in you, especially with Frank. So everything's worked together in the last year as a team.
yeah. Listen, I mean, before I come on with Simon and they start, I'm working with Frank properly. Things were nasty. Like things weren't going great. So a lot of it is down to the Queensbury and Rehab season and everything. The way everything kind of linked in at the right time for me. So yeah, mate, Simon and Frank and the team are. I've got a lot of thanks for them. You know what I mean?
I think I know the answer to this, but what was sweeter, winning the world title against Joe Cordina in Riyadh or in front of 96,000 people? I know it wasn't 96 at the time you boxed, but it was a lot of people in there, 70, 80,000 probably watching that. You defending your world title against Josh Warrington at Wembley Stadium. Which one was better?
Oh, Cordina, it has to be Cordina. I mean, that was kind of like boyhood dreams. You know what I mean? That was when I was 13, 14. I was dreaming of them moments. It just turned out that it was on one of the biggest shows in years and years. So everything, like, if I look back at the way my career's panned out now, everything's just kind of came together at the perfect time. Thank God for that. I mean, it's just everything's aligned, and I'm in the driving seat, and it's been years coming, so I'm enjoying it.
Well, you are in the driving seat. You're the champion. But this is why I want to speak to you today because there's a lot going on with yourself in terms of your mandatory situation. Eddie Hearn spoke to Boxing News this past weekend in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He obviously represents Sugar Nunez, and he said this. I'm very disappointed. I'm certain that Anto Cacace is going to duck Sugar Nunez, who of course is your mandatory. So what is the situation firstly with that?
Well, that's just Eddie trying to stir the pot a wee bit. Yes, I know of a mandatory in Sugar Nunez. I know he's a good fighter. But is he any better than any other ones? No. I mean, as for ducking, there's no ducking going on. Business has to be right, Umar. I've worked my whole life, to get into this position. There's also another potential fight there as well, and the money for Sugar Nunez is half the money I got for my last fight, and it'll be half the money for the fight that is proposed now. So, I'm 36. I'm no spring chicken. Time's a ticking, and I've got to take the best financial package for me and the family. And there's no ducking here, mate. I don't duck no one. I'll fight anyone, and I'm sure everyone knows that anyway. So.
No, I guess, look, the people around you, you've got a team around you for a certain reason. And that potential fight that you mentioned there, I'm hearing it is Leigh Wood. That's the fight that makes sense. I don't know how in-depth talks have gone about you and Leigh Wood, but if you look at a fight with Leigh Wood and Sugar Nunez, of course, both tough matchups. You're going to have to
Oh,
be at your best.
yeah,
But obviously, the financial reward, the magnitude of a fight with Leigh Wood, it's a big, big blockbuster showdown in this country,
yeah.
or even if it takes place in Riyadh, compared to a fight with Sugar Nunez. And there's no disrespect to Sugar Nunez as a brilliant, brilliant fighter, but outside of boxing, no one knows him. So the worth of that fight is much less for you.
Well, there you go. You've hit the nail right on the head there. Do you know what I mean? So that's a separate part of it. But then there's the financial side. So, you know, I just at the minute it's what suits me and my family. I mean, it's the bigger opportunities, the bigger fights, the bigger money. That's what way I'm going, and I haven't said other ways before. So, you know, but if Eddie wants Sugar Nunez, I have no problem. Eddie, put the extra few quid, what I deserve. And listen, I'll fly to Mexico. I'll fight him in Mexico. You know what I mean? So that's the truth. You know, if you want to listen to ducking and diving and all that crap, you can, but I'm giving you the truth.
Well, given I'm sure you would fly to Mexico and fight Sugar Nunez, I'm sure you'd do it on the moon. But given the situation where obviously you're the known fighter in this scenario, as I said, Sugar Nunez outside of boxing isn't known. Eddie has got Sugar Nunez. In those situations where you're the draw in this fight, obviously Frank's got the upside. It's very, very unlikely. Not saying it can't happen, but it's almost impossible that Eddie's going to put up the money considering he's got the lower side in the fight, if that makes sense.
Well, that makes sense too. The business side, I don't pretend to know it. I don't really know the business side. I know what I'm worth, based on my last fight. So all the business and whatever, I leave that down to Simon and the team, and they deliver. So I'm hoping that they're going to deliver again for me, and whatever that they think is right going forward is the advice that I'll be taking.
Hmm. After though, what I've just said about the fight with Leigh Wood, if it comes off, is a much bigger fight. It's still obviously, I guess, a tough decision as a fighter. I know you're getting advice and whatnot, but I'm sure you're extremely proud of that world title. Just to vacate that, um, even though you're getting a bigger fight and financially more rewarded, which you deserve at 36 years old, considering all the hard work you've put in. But to vacate that title is still, I guess, a hard thing to do as a fighter.
Yeah, listen, people looking in at the situation, they'll be saying he's 36, he's not too well known. Um, you know, for me, the Wood fight makes more sense. You know what I mean? It's a bigger fan base, Wood fan base. It's a 30,000 stadium. Mate, listen, it's we could talk about it all day. It's just the way it is.
Would you be happy to do that? I'm sure you'll say yes, but that fight with Leigh Wood, if it comes off in Nottingham at a stadium, at a football stadium, at his club.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Like that's what I'm looking for. So I'll go to Nottingham. I'll go to Mexico, but show me the money. Do you know what I mean? Like I ain't grafted all these years to be shafted at this stage. I got shafted the whole way up. It's time to like put my foot down and try and do the things that are right for me.
I want to just Google the capacity at Nottingham Forest Football Club. Hang on.
I think it's 30.
30,000, is it? Let me have a
So,
look. Yeah, no, you're bang on. It's 30,000. And Leigh Wood is obviously very, very popular up there. If we had, two Brits for a world title showdown, that will sell very easily.
mhm. So it's a massive fight in its own right. I don't want to give up a world title. That's not what I'm saying. Again, I worked my whole life to get that, but I will be expecting to be something to be put in place for me to continue. Like, but if I take this Wood fight, that I fight the winner of Sugar Nunez and whoever he fights. I'm not just giving this away like that, and I'm not saying that I'm giving it away, but I'm saying that the way things sit now, the best possible option is not Sugar Nunez.
No fight's easy, but what do you think is the easier fight out of Lee and Sugar?
No, 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 no. They're both top level fighters. if I probably would say Sugar Nunez for my style. Sugar Nunez, listen, he's a come forward fighter. Is he exceptional? No. You know, he's like a Magnesi only with a lot higher punch rate. So just another fight against a style that I've fought my whole life. So I believe that Nunez would suit my style better than Leigh Wood.
Lee Wood's obviously a bit similar to you, had his best years late on in his career. He's been in some wars though,
Yeah.
over the last couple of years. With Lee Wood, what do you think he's still got left in the tank going off his last couple of fights?
Well, one thing we can't question with Leigh Wood is his heart and his desire. So, you know, it's no matter what, it's going to be an absolute war of a fight. You know, it's going to be knockdowns, it's going to be a massive fight. Lee's a very good fighter. I take nothing away from him. I know he's a wee bit up like myself, like you know, he's 36, 37.
Yeah.
But we're operating, so I still believe he's a very good fighter and very hungry. So I would be expecting the best Leigh Wood.
Do you believe you knocked Lee Wood out though?
I believe I beat him whatever way possible. Like you know, I'm a better boxer than him. I'm smarter than him. I'm heavier handed than him as well. So whatever way it comes, I would be more than happy.
I know I mentioned doing it at Forest in Lee's hometown. Has there been any discussions about a homecoming for you at Windsor Park in Belfast and selling that place out?
It wouldn't be Windsor. It would be more like the Odyssey, the SSE Arena. But there was talk of it, but you know, when it comes down to it, and the decisions have to be made, it's the offer, what's on the table, the best offer on the table. You know, whether it be at home or whether it be away. You know.
Apart from the two guys that I've mentioned, is there anyone else in the mix for you next or not really?
Maybe moving up in weight, light weight, and challenging up there and seeing what I could do up there, having one crack at that. Um, but that's really it. You know what I mean? It just seems like, but it does seem like possible. There's so many possibilities and scenarios that could play out here that you know I'm just in a really good position.
I know it's not your side of things, as you said, the business side, but have talks with Lee Wood's team and Lee Wood is a free agent. Have they advanced? Do you know how far they've gone?
Listen, that's something you would have to ask Simon. They haven't kept me in the loop of really what's going on, but I know they're talking.
Well, I'm due to speak to your promoter, Frank, early next week. So if you just want to send a message to him about delivering that fight with Lee Wood or whatever is next for you, what would that message be to him?
No, I know, Frank. He is the man at the minute, and you can talk Eddie Hearn taking over the game and whatever else, but Frank is the man, and I know that he can produce this fight for me. I have no questions asked. I know he can do this. So just listen, keep doing what I'm doing, get me the money I want, and let's make these fights.
Finally, when do you anticipate some sort of concrete news? Because I'm sure that fight with, Lee Wood, if that is to be next, you want to kind of lock that in for what, kind of April, May, I'm guessing, or it'd have to be after the season actually. So May.
Yeah, in May. We were talking about late May, something along them lines. But so I get plenty of time and to sort things out and whatever else, and for a good training camp and to get it, both of us to be in the best condition we can be in.
Okay. And so I appreciate your time. God bless. I'm sure I'll speak to you soon. And yeah, hopefully we get some concrete news on yourself.
Yes, mate. Thank you very much. It was nice speaking to you.
Yeah, you too. Cheers. Take care, Answer. Bye, mate.
Take it easy, mate. Bye bye. Bye.